106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Good evening, this is Dr. Bones live with MadAnderdsons for Music Saturday and our special guest, Love Buzzards. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hello.
So, first and foremost, Love Buzzards, like, how or where did you come up with that name?
Well, just, we had, like, another name that we had for a couple of years, and it was kind of a depressing sounding name, so, I just kind of felt like, I think it would be cooler if the band had like a funny name that would like make people smile and laugh or something. So the word Love Buzzards just came to me and it made me laugh. So I was like, that's good enough for me. Sounds great. And so, it made me put a smile on my face. I brought it to the guys and they instantly laughed. So I was like, okay, that's a keeper.
Right on. Now
mission accomplished.
Yeah. Now, you guys, go ahead. Sorry.
That just felt very, accomplished at that point.
Well, you guys have been in the game for a long time. Now, how did you kind of finally end up with doing Love Buzzards and doing the sound that you're doing right now? Because I know there's been some changes over the years and kind of dabbled in different things. So, how did you finally come up with saying, you know what, we want to do this way. We've been in this game long enough. We're gonna.
And so, sometimes it starts with a riff. Sometimes it starts with like a few lyrics. Sometimes it's like a chord progression. So, it just really, it just runs the gamut, as far as songwriting. And I think ultimately we just want to, capture like a really cool vibe.
Now, is there a big scene for this in Georgia where you guys are at right now?
Well, I mean, if there is, we really don't know about it. We're kind of we've been playing for quite a bit in the city, and at times the scene has been like really just overflowing with bands, and we kind of found ourselves kind of a part of the scene for the moment, and then sometimes bands break up, and then it goes through a period where it just doesn't seem like there's any bands at all. So if there's a scene going on that's really kicking and fantastic, we're really kind of unaware of it right now. So hopefully we'll get back in the loop soon.
Right on. Nolan, Catherine, go ahead.
Speaking of that, do you feel like the scene supports original music? Is that predominantly what you play when you gig, or you throw some covers in there as well, or what's the mix?
Yeah, we definitely is mostly original, and we will definitely dig up a cover every now and then, whether it's something from from a metal band that we like, or a punk band that we like, or something indie or obscure. Every now and then we'll throw in a cover, but it's mostly original. And there is one club in our immediate area that caters to original music, and they've been doing it for over 10 years, and hats off to them.
Absolutely, that's great.
Catherine?
You know what? I'm having difficulty coming up with a question because you guys have already covered it. I have to say, I'm looking at your Facebook page, actually, and I was sort of intrigued by the Millennium Tribute to Van Halen. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that we definitely were a part of that particular project with that label that's based out of Nashville, and basically what they do is they do these tribute records to for the lack of a better term, like hair metal bands, or metal bands from the 80s and stuff like that.
Right.
And we're huge fans of that era, as well as probably every other era of rock music. But we had the opportunity to be on that record, and we wanted to find like the most punk rock sounding Van Halen songs. So we selected Somebody Get Me a Doctor. We thought it was pretty punk rock, and actually it was our second choice. Our first choice was Dead or Alive, but it was already taken. That was probably more punk rock than Somebody Get Me a Doctor. But so we went with that. And being a part of that particular project and that label was our attempt to get more national exposure, because that band's records are released nationally in all these different markets and national store chains and stuff like that. So we were trying to be more rock stars by doing that and stuff.
Now, this question I had to ask: Are you guys pro Sammy Hagar or pro David Lee Roth?
It's strictly David Lee Roth.
Right on.
Yes. Strictly David Lee Roth. Yeah, and in fact, for I think I can speak for the rest of the guys. For us, it pretty much ended, with 1984, and,
right?
And and that going back to the first Van Halen record, so that's just where we stand on that.
no, right on. Because we were talking about this just before we called you guys. We were talking about your Van Halen tribute and covers, and we were talking about who will we prefer more. And I personally said I was a little bit impartial. I mean, I love David Lee Roth for his animation and just his stage presence, because he's awesome. He does have a really good voice. But no, on the other hand, Sammy Hagar is just one of those guys that really likes to rock and just kind of go for it. So it was kind of a hard thing for me, but cool to hear you guys say that. So we're going to take a quick little break here, and we're going to listen to your song off the NYC compilation called Get It. And ironically, the song by you guys, Love Buzzers, called Get It. So dig this.
Get it!
The Love Buzzards get it. Now, this one really had me banging my head, man. What a cool tune. Like, it just such a catchy hook. And just, like, kind of brings me back to my kind of my metal roots because I do, like, a wide array of different music. But, you know, I'm still very partial to metal. And that was really cool. I could really enjoy that tune.
Thank you.
Catherine Nolan?
Yeah, that was a great rockin' tune. I'm getting a definite Nirvana vibe off of that. Are you guys fans?
There's definitely influence. You know, there's definitely the influence back there, as well as that entire era of music for sure.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah,
Good job.
yeah, love the riff on it. It sounds great.
Now, this one in particular, just the beginning guitar riffs. How did well? Let me try this a different way. How do you guys put together songs? Like, what's your composition? Like, how do you guys kind of gel together?
Usually it starts with a riff. You know, it usually starts with me playing something that everybody else kind of feels, you know, has something going, and then you know, the drums fall in, and then, you know, the bass player picks up what I'm playing, and he'll probably play, you know, the root notes of what I'm playing, or he'll probably play something different, and then, you know, we'll, you know, either together go to a different place with the music to a different chord structure, or, you know, I'll think of something, you know, later. This particular song, I think, just came together really in minutes, which quite a few of our songs almost instantly, like, wrote themselves. So yeah, I mean, it really happens every kind of way. Sometimes I just have like a line, you know, that sticks out in my head,
Right.
and you know.
Sorry, you cut out. You're cutting out right there. I can't hear you at all.
Okay. Well, you know, for the most part, it starts with a riff.
Right. Okay. Sorry about that. No, you kind of got cut out there for a minute or two.
Oh,
But-
man.
Well, no, it's not your fault. Skype happens sometimes. But, you know, no one mentioning the Nirvana kind of comparison. You know, I can kind of see that now because it kind of reminds me of something off of Bleach. Particularly the song called School, because it kind of has a riff, but just a little bit heavier and obviously switched up a little bit. But I can definitely see that.
Yeah, I think that, like, those records, you know, Bleach in particular, for me personally, were almost felt life changing in a way.
Right.
That, like, they've completely, like, absorbed into my being, and sometimes in my writing, you know, similarities are just completely unconscious. You know, when you're writing something